Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. I am really excited to be here with you. This episode is going to drop on my birthday on Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. And this episode, this transmission is a birthday episode, and it is all about the ritual of your birthday, of your solar return, what that means. And I really felt called. I was like, this was such a crazy, wild, expansive, transformative year. I was like, what if I did 32 lessons from year 32? And I was like, are there 32? And I sat down and I kid you not, I could have kept going. This all came out in literally like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I guess I have an episode. So I'm really excited to channel this with you. Birthdays can bring up so much. A solar return can bring up so much, the celebration. A lot of people, including myself, experience some sadness on their birthday. Just like it can be a lot of things, just depending on where you're at in your life, what's going on, the state of your heart and your soul. And I'm excited to share this episode with you as, just an example of how you can honor your birthday, how you can be in the celebration of your solar return, no matter what's going on, no matter who you are. And I really want to pay it forward and share these lessons with you, because each one of them, some of them are repeats. We all have repeat lessons in our lives. And what I know to be true is every layer of your evolution will require you to learn lessons at a deeper level. Okay. So that's part of it. And there's a lot of new lessons too. So I'm just really excited to be here. I'm excited to share and drop in with you. So before we dive in, let us call upon the altar. I will say this might be my most abundant altar I have ever had for the podcast. So I am using my Nana Sally's table, which if you have been in my world for a while, you know that my Nana Sally, she is one of my major guides. She shows up to me in a cardinal, and I literally, right as I said that, what do I see outside the window? A cardinal. That's the power of spirit. Woo! Full body chills already. The altar is saying thank you in advance. It is setting the stage. It is mahalo, 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 which means thank you in Hawaiian. So I have my Nana's table. I have rose petals from Maui, from the Aina on Maui. I have feathers from pheasants and turkeys, I believe, in Michigan here. I was blessed with 3 feathers just walking on my path. I have sunflowers. I have so many sunflowers all around for me and my birthday. Leo is ruled by the sun. I'm a Leo sun, and Leo energy is major up in here right now. It's shining your light. It literally is the sun, the solar codes. I have 1, 2, 3 limelight hydrangeas. Limelights all are a type of hydrangea, which is a flower, and flowers are the highest frequency. It's also about stepping into the limelight, stepping into being seen, stepping into being known. I have a white unscented candle burning, and I have this third eye crystal, chalcedony. And it's all about compassion and goodwill and generosity. It's a light purple for those that can't see it. And it's actually the same exact kind of stone that I have on my ring. So all of this is on the altar, and the altar is thank you, thank you, thank you in advance to Spirit for this transmission. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. And the final piece of our altar is calling in the element of air, our life force energy. And we take 3 deep breaths together because we know this is a podcast and it is a transmission. So whether you are listening to this on a walk, whether you are driving in your car, whether you are sitting having a beautiful, lovely beverage that makes you smile, drop into your heart and let's connect. If you're able, close your eyes. Feel your feet on Mother Earth supporting you. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Open up your arms and allow yourself to be big. Inhale through the nose. Feel the light purple swirling around your ears, your eyes, your forehead, your crown. Opening up your intuition, your connection. Exhale out the mouth. Feel the purple light move to your heart. Inhale through your nose. Holding at the top, suspended in time, bring an intention to this space, this podcast. Why did you press play? To learn, to grow, to level up, to be inspired, to love, to connect, to just be. All of it is welcome. Exhale out the mouth. Gently open your eyes. If you closed them, the portal is officially open. 32 lessons from year 32. So I am recording this. This is my birthday eve. So I'm a really big birthday person in case you didn't know. I always birthdays are just really, really fun. And I celebrate life every single day. I'm like, okay, how can I celebrate this? How can I celebrate this? Like, it's just celebration is a way of life for me. When it's my birthday, when it's a solar return, it's like cranking up a notch. It literally is the day that is about you. It's like celebrating. Yeah, I was literally born. This is like when I was born. And when you think about it from an astrology perspective, the solar return is when the sun comes back to the exact degree it was the moment you took your first breath. And it's like, high five, sun. You get a special blast of solar codes lasting the whole year for you, a turbo boost. And it's like high-fiving the sun, like, hey, we did it again. Hey, we did it again. Oh my gosh, here we keep going. And it's a rite of passage, it's a ritual. And a lot of people, I feel like as they get older, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just a birthday, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's a big deal because you're a big deal, You are a big deal. You are the main character of your life. And you get to be celebrated, especially on your birthday. So just tapping into that essence of celebration, one of my life mantras is celebration leads, success follows. Celebration leads, success follows. And what you don't celebrate, you don't integrate. So this is all about celebration and lessons. And when I think about lessons, it's like learnings. It's like wisdom for your life to take forward. And something that I do every single year on my birthday eve, which I actually, so at the time of this recording, I have not done this yet, but I sit down and I do an annual review. And I do this before every new year, I do an annual review. However, I do one right before my birthday as well, because it's just a different timeline, right? When we're going by years, it's very 3D. It's very it's very homogenized, like everybody's operating on the Gregorian calendar, and the Monday to Friday work week and blah, 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 which it's important to play in that timeline because, we are living here on Earth with other humans, right? And at the very same time, that's not my timeline, right? That's not based on me. So when my birthday comes around, I'm like, wow, this is when I really can just sit down and be like the day before my birthday, I don't have anything on the calendar because I am just in a deep portal and ceremony of gratitude and reflection. And I'm in my annual review. And so I go through every single week in the calendar and I take a tally of the things that made life amazing, things that I'm celebrating, things I'm so proud of. And then I'm like, oh, these things were like, ouch, these things did not add to my happiness. So it's like people always talk about, casting a big vision for the next year. If you do not know what happened in the year before that, you have no idea what the current reality is. And you can't move what you don't measure. So I go through and measure my whole year. I'm like, this was a yes, this was a no. This was a yes, this was a no. More of this, less of that. And then I really, really double down on what's correct for me, what's lighting me up, what worked. So yeah, I'm going to be leaning into my annual review tomorrow, and I'm really excited for that process. I'm excited for that ritual. And I will definitely say that where I am right now is not anywhere where I thought I would be a year ago. And it's one of those times in my life where I am more in the unknown than I ever have been. And I've just learned that unknown equals magic when I decide it is. In fact, it's the only place where magic, life-blowing magic, can occur. So this is just a little lay of the land, how I think about birthdays, what I do. And then of course, I always want to do something. Honestly, the word that first came to me, I love doing something really explosive on my birthday, like exploding in magic, exploding in potential, exploding in possibility. And this birthday is going to be a little more low key than previous ones. Last year I was getting on a flight to go to Maui when the wildfires had just happened. I had never been there. And I was like, yep, I'm moving across the world to an island because this is my soul's call. And it was very explosive. It was like, boom, I'm doing this. I'm doing the damn thing, right? The year before that, what did I do? I actually kept it pretty low key the year before that. However, I had just moved into a new home 2 weeks before my birthday. And then, which is kind of like what I did now, except I just came to the mainland. I don't really know where my long-term home is, to be honest. We're going to get more into that in the episode. I've jumped out of planes on my birthday. I've just always, I rented a bunch of jet skis with a bunch of friends on my birthday. Like, I love making a big splash. I love making a big splash because it's my celebration and I'm a Leo and I love fun and I love joy and I love just making a big, big, I don't know, I'm just smiling talking about it. Just the most joy possible. Like seriously, just a turbo boost of joy. So this year on my birthday, I decided what things bring me the most joy. Honestly, serving my clients is one of the most joyful things I do in my whole life. I'm leading a class. I'm leading a breathwork class, and then I'm going to go see my nieces and my sister, and it's going to be so amazing. And we're going to play and have fun and just be out in Mother Earth, and it's going to be amazing. So that is the lay of the land. Now I'm going to get into 32 lessons from year 32. And don't you worry, this episode is not going to be 32 hours long. Like I said, these just came spitting out my channel. I sat down and I was like, I wonder if there's 32. And the moment my pen started writing, I was like, oh, there's like way more than 32. So when you are receiving these, when you are listening to this, my intention is that I get to pass them along to you for you to use, which is the intention of this whole podcast. Everything I do in my life, everything I teach is like, okay, this came up for me because I'm supposed to share it with you. And then you're supposed to apply it in your life, in your unique way, right? And a better world with Adrian is all of these things are going to contribute to a better world. So why? Because when we use our life as a class, we learn, we grow, we study. And the lesson is wisdom that you get to make your life better. It's more knowledge, it's more discovery. You're further on your destiny path. You're further in deeply aligning to who you are and who you've always been, right? So 32 lessons from year 32. Number 1, the universe always rewards a leap of faith from pure joy and intention. So this was the first biggest lesson. When I, 1 year ago, when I got on a plane and there was literally one other person on this plane with me and the whole time over the loudspeakers, they're saying essential travel only, essential travel only, essential travel only, because the wildfires had just happened on Maui. And just to, clear the air here, I had already booked a place to stay and a flight and all of that stuff way in advance, obviously, of the wildfires. My phone was ringing off the hook of people telling me not to go. Don't go, don't go, don't go. It's not safe. I had trolls online. People I don't have any fucking idea who they are, DMing me, messaging me, saying, you are so disrespectful to be going to Maui right now, blah, 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 blah. And I just shut all the noise of the world off. I got clear and I was like, I'm doing this because it makes me happy. I'm doing this because it brings me joy. I'm doing this because I know I'm supposed to. Okay. And guess what happened? When I landed on Maui, I was met with magic after magic after magic after magic. I had some plans. I let go of a lot of stable things in Chicago to say yes to Maui. And I did it. And I did it for real. And the moment I landed, I was meeting people that I really, really resonated with. It was like, oh, synchronicity, synchronicity, synchronicity. And then my business started blowing up like pretty immediately when I landed. And I was like, the universe rewards a leap of faith when it comes from pure joy and a pure heart. When people have ulterior motives and they make a big move, sometimes that shit don't work because it's not coming from a pure heart. But when you have pure joy and pure intention, the universe will reward your big leap, especially when you do it in divine timing, right? Which is like studying the astrology. Okay. Lesson number 2. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So this is something that Maya Angelou said. This is something that I've learned multiple times in my life. And I learned it again this past year. So this whole year is going to be basically like my year on Maui, because I went there last year on my birthday and I came back to the mainland right before my birthday this year. So when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. This showed up a couple ways. And, one of the ways, something about me is I see the good in everyone, I love every single soul. I see the good in everyone. Something that I used to do in dating was I would fall in love with people's potential rather than who they actually were being, because I could just see their potential. And that's like one of my greatest gifts, and my greatest gift as like a coach and a leader and like how I'm just able to keep going relentlessly no matter what the circumstances, because I believe in the good of people, and I believe in potential, and I believe in dreams, and I believe in all of that stuff, and no one can ever tell me otherwise. No one can ever tell me they don't have the potential to build their dream, because they do. And so something that I learned a couple times, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. I learned that in a couple friend situations on Maui. And I learned that with someone that I dated on Maui. Because I remember very specifically, there was a moment where this guy said something, and it was like this little ping in my body. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I was also like swirled up in this cloud of like, oh my God, I'm on Maui and he is so handsome and amazing and he does this with me. And I mean, he's a gorgeous soul and a gorgeous person. And he showed me who he was. And I didn't believe him the first time. And I continued seeing him. And then he showed me who he was a few more times, and then it ended, right? So when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And, I really gave myself a lot of grace, because before I moved to Maui, I really wasn't dating much, because I just knew my person wasn't in Chicago. And honestly, I didn't really care about it in Chicago, because I was just like focusing on other things in my life. And the social scene in Chicago it's not really aligned with me. It's like everything's based off of like sports and drinking, which, I'm a sporty girl. I grew up doing sports. I love sports. I still play sports, but I just wasn't in the dating scene. And so I got to learn this lesson again, at a way different level though, because, this person was, light years and light years ahead of the last people that I dated. So, yeah. Number 3, a smile and a small gesture of kindness can change the world. You have no idea what people are going through. You have no idea what people are going through. Something that I really learned on Maui was people don't know this, but there's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of poverty there. And it's not like, of course, there was poverty and homelessness and things in Chicago. It was very different on Maui. It's hard to explain, but I just remember just like, this is part of my job and my love in this life is like, I want to make everybody smile everywhere. I love going to the cashier and knowing their name. Like my cashier's name on Maui was Pam. And I was like, oh, I have an Aunt Pam. You can be my Maui Aunt Pam. And so I knew her. And like, I would just do kind things for her. And you just look somebody in the eye and smile at them. If we all did that, the world would automatically be better. You have no idea. You have no idea what people are going through. Like, if you see someone, how hard is it for you to, buy a water and a sandwich while you're inside somewhere and give it to the person outside who isn't eating and who doesn't have a home? It's very, very easy. And this stuff can change the world. Okay, lesson number 4, protect your imagination. Protect your imagination, protect your imagination. This is also, you could also say this is protect your inner child. So something that I experienced a lot in the past year is that I live bigger than most people. I go bigger than a lot of people. And I don't know if it was just like, I've been in this like online, like protected bubble maybe, because I just, Chicago's not like a spiritual place. It's not like you really have to seek out spiritual experiences, or just be solo, which is what I would do a lot. Because I am the magic. Everywhere I go, I am the magic. And that's why miracles happen everywhere, because I choose them and I make them on purpose. And something that I experienced that I didn't expect to experience was, you know, sharing ideas and be like, oh, this and this and this, and then being met with, oh, well, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work. That won't work. And like offering ideas and like reaching out to people and doing these things to build community, build things in person and all of that. And being met, to be honest, with a lot of buzzsaw energy, like, nope, 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 nope. I was met with a lot of like powerlessness mindsets. And there were moments where I questioned myself and I was like, am I unrealistic? Am I the crazy one? And I heard the most powerful quote the other day from Jamie Kern Lima, which if you don't know her, her work is amazing. She has a book called Worthy. I haven't read it, but a lot of people have and they like it for whatever reason. I'm not super interested in reading it, but she's a powerhouse woman. Um, she says, you're not crazy, you're just first. And that's what I always speak on in terms of innovation, is like, you're only called a genius like later when you proved that it worked and you tried for like 20 years and failed. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't necessarily have to be that long, but you got to protect your imagination. Your imagination is one of your greatest resources. It's your pathway to joy. It's your pathway to hope. It's your pathway to faith and love and adventure and prosperity and success and peace and fulfillment. You've got to protect your imagination. So any kind of mindsets, any kind of people, any kind of, communities that are going to put you down and try and cap the level of your magic, gotta go. That's an automatic no. Okay, number 5, you will be rejected from spaces too small for you. You will be rejected from spaces too small for you. And it's something about the way that's worded, but I've shared a bit on the podcast about this and I did a vulnerable share in the episode right before this, where I was sharing about how I encountered a lot of gossip and rejection by spiritual women in person on Maui, which honestly, I was totally blindsided by that. And it hurt. It really fucking hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I cried myself to sleep like multiple nights. Just because I was grieving. And it was kind of the combination of this, protect your imagination, because it was like having my inner child be like basically like kicked down and then being rejected for like the best part of me. Honestly, my inner child and my essence of joy is like the best part of me. It's like the source of every other thing I do. And something I just really learned, and it's can be challenging when you're in it, right? However, when you're able to take a step back and be in the observer seat, which is why these rituals are so powerful, because as I'm channeling this episode, I'm healing myself. I'm learning right along with you. Like, you will be rejected from spaces too small for you. And that, my friend, is divine intervention. It is just energetics. It is geometry. It is physics. It's like, if you are a big energy, if you're a big presence, and you don't have to be an outgoing Leo like me to be a big energy and big presence and big aura. Some of the most powerful people I know barely say a word. but you fucking know they're there. And when they do say something, that carries weight, right? But if you're in this expansive way of life, you will be rejected from spaces that are too small for you because your energy will not be able to be contained in that space. It just won't. Once you grow to a certain level, you can't go back without self-abandoning. And here's the thing. Once you get into a certain level of integrity with your body and your truth and your soul, you physically won't be able to self-abandon anymore. You might be able to do it a little bit, but you will get to a point where you literally would rather rip your hair out, rip your arm off than self-abandon. And so you will be rejected for spaces too small for you. And this is just a redirection. It's just a redirection. Think about all the people in your life that turned you down for a date or broke up with you. And you're like, thank fucking God, because that was not for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's lesson number 5. Number 6, no matter how far you stray from yourself, your breath will always walk you home. It doesn't matter how far you go from yourself. We all do it. Life is one big meditation. And meditation is just about observing your thoughts, noticing them, and then bringing them back to center, right? So when you notice you're off track, when you notice you're off on a thought spiral, when you notice anything where you've gone away from the real you, from the core essence of you, your breath will always walk you back home. I never learned this more than this year, because you want to grow exponentially spiritually. Fly to the other side of the world and move to an island you've never been to. I keep saying 32 was the most transformative year of my life. My edges for both challenge and bliss were expanded in ways I had no idea. And I'm only 32. Like, literally, what's about to happen in life? There were really a lot of challenging moments and times when I did not want to do breath work. I had so much I had more resistance in the past year to breath work than I have ever. Why? Because I knew I was knocking on the door of a new level of power and change. And that's when you'll resist it the most. Your breath will always walk you back home, no matter what. Rely on your breath. Do breath work. It literally is your highway to healing that lives inside you. It's so important. Okay, lesson number 7. I'm going to try and clip these up a little bit. It's all bullshit. Choose yours. So we live in a hologram, right? We live in a simulation where it's all bullshit. And whatever you choose to believe, you will create evidence of. Whatever you believe is possible, you will create evidence of. It's all bullshit, okay? It's up to you to choose your own bullshit, all right? So I could choose the bullshit that I'm not worthy. It is what it is. Some people get things and other people don't. There's nothing I can do. Money's a finite resource. Or I can choose the bullshit that I can do anything I want. Because they did it, that means I can do it too. Money is an infinite resource. Being seen is my power. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, whatever you believe, you will create evidence of in your life. So it's all bullshit. It's all a simulation. It's all a choice. So make sure you choose. And, if I were you, I would choose the one that gets you what you want, which actually turns out to be the truth of your soul and your destiny, because every desire is your destiny. Okay, number 8, water is our greatest ancestor and source of power, cleansing, and healing. We must be in right relationship with water more than ever. Being in the ocean every day for a year, we must honor Mother Ocean. We must honor the element of water. We must protect our water. We must drink good water. And water is our greatest ancestor. It covers literally almost the whole globe. We are made of literally mostly water. If you want more on my deep love affair with water, go to the episode 10 Lessons from Mama Ocean, or go to the episode The Water Elemental in the Elemental series. Power, cleansing, and healing. It's important for you to cleanse in water as much as possible and submerge yourself. Submerge yourself, whether it's a creek or a stream or the ocean or a lake or a bath. It's really, really important. Someone that I know, that he's actually a medicine man from northern Canada in Alberta. He's like, it's like 100 smudge sticks jumping in the ocean. It cleanses your aura, and it's really, really important, because if you're here in this community, you have a very strong aura. You're very spiritual and you feel energy all around you, and there's a lot of cray energy out there. So make sure you cleanse yourself with water and just be in right relationship. Like, thank the water before you drink it. All right? Don't waste water. You know what I'm saying? Number 9, your light will illuminate darkness. When you shine your light big and bright, bold and beautiful for the whole world, it's going to illuminate darkness. It will activate people. It will illuminate your own shadow. It will illuminate your own shadow. This was something I experienced the past year. I was shining brighter than ever, ever, because I was so happy, and I am shining brighter than I ever have, because I'm so happy. And I was so happy on Maui. And this illuminated my own shadow, my own places to heal that I didn't even know existed. Shout out to my Pluto line on Maui. It illuminated the shadows around me. And it was a deep recognizing of, like, there were certain people where it was like, they ran close to me, like they would want to come close to me because they were like, ooh, I want some of that, and then they start shining brighter, and then we shine brighter together. And then there was a lot of people that it just exposed where they weren't shining, and that was a thing. So just be aware, your bright light will illuminate darkness, both within yourself and those around you. So that was the big one I learned. Okay, number 10, energetic hygiene is deeply important. People talk about hygiene like, make sure you shower, make sure you take good care of yourself, make sure you are, I remember in grade school, I remember them saying, like, you need to wear deodorant because that's just basic hygiene. Hygiene is about cleanliness, right? And cleanliness is also known as saucha in Sanskrit, in the yogic tradition, which is purity and cleanliness, right? And that's a big part of our work as spiritual being, is like keeping a clean house, There's the saying, cleanliness is next to godliness, which I really, really believe that, because it's just respectful of the space. And you are a space, and there's a lot of dark entities. There's a lot of crazy energy in the globe right now. Like, we're really stepping forward into the revolution, into the change. It's like there's war, there's all this like political energy, there's like so many different programs with the Matrix. And honestly, like, being on Maui for a year, I was very removed from a lot of that. Was there energetic hygiene issues on Maui? Yes, because the thing about Maui is that there is, how do I want to say it? It's very, very free and open, right? So that means, it's very, very free in positive ways, and it's very, very free in not so positive ways. So like people don't hide the people don't hide things. So it's a lot of things are just a way out in the open. And you can't really hide on an island. Energetic hygiene. You gotta be protecting your energy, containing your energy each day, clearing your energy, clearing your home. Your body is a sanctuary. And so the energetic hygiene is deeply important. I had a portion of time the past year where there's something attached to my root chakra that was really affecting me. And I picked it up just, you know, by being in someone else's presence. And I'm more prone to that as a projector because my body's just so open. But everyone gets to practice energetic hygiene. Okay, number 11, play and gratitude shift everything for the good. Play and gratitude shift everything for the good. I came to again and again and again, like each time I had some challenge, like I will say this was the most challenging year I've had in a really, really, really long time. And here's the key thing though. It was all challenges I chose, right? Challenges I chose. Did I realize the challenges I was choosing when I moved fully? No, I didn't, because that's the risk you take when you go somewhere you've never been. And I would do it 1,000 times again. Um, every time I was feeling a stickiness or like, oh, like it felt like, oh, I'm like, I got up and I getting some momentum and then I face plant and I get up and then I face plant. And so I just came back to play. I'm like, how can I play more? Because life's a game, life's an adventure. How can I play more? How can I be in more gratitude? And it just brings this like heavy energy up into a lighter, like, it's not about denying things, but it is about like, life is a game. And I came here to enjoy it and have fun. And like, how can I play? And playing might be, I'm going to put on my favorite song and go dance in the sun with my feet barefoot on the earth. Or play might be, I'm going to call one of my friends and we're going to go to the ocean and we're going to do this. Or it's like, how can you bring your play alive? And gratitude. Gratitude is the bedrock of a life fully lived. Because if you lose touch with gratitude, you lose touch with the core of what it means to live this life with reverence. When you're grateful for every single thing and you realize that every single thing is your creation and every single thing is a miracle and every single thing is a gift. And even if it's somehow challenging you, it's like, how is this a gift right now? Like, how can I be grateful for this? And you might not be grateful for it right in that moment. And you can shift every single thing in your life to gratitude. So, number 12, holy habits increase your bandwidth for uncertainty. So, the amount of uncertainty that you will be required to hold will increase again and again and again every time you level up, every time you enter a new arena, every time you do anything that's expanding you, you will be called into holding a deeper, wider bandwidth of uncertainty. And we all will as we move forward into this unlocking of the world. It's like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So the way that you're going to be able to hold uncertainty is to create unshakable certainty in other parts of your life, which are your holy habits, which is your daily health, your daily rituals, your daily wellness, your daily routines, your daily habits. The reason I'm so A lot of people, like people that are like my closest friends, my closest family, when I would share things that have happened this past year, which I'm not going to share a lot on the podcast. I think I will share when the time is right. That time is not now. They say, I never would have known. I would have had no idea. How are you doing this? How are you moving through this? And it's because of my holy habits. Like I choose that the uncertainty in my life is allocated for dreams, my destiny, my soul business. Like all of that requires being able to hold uncertainty. So what do? I hold it down with certainty for myself, with my health, my habits. Like my habits are everything. People are like, how do you hold so much? My habits. My habits are the pillars that hold everything else. You can't dance in magic without a foundation of habits that stabilize you. You just can't. So that's number 12. 13, colors are codes. Follow, wear, and notice the colors you are drawn to. Colors are codes. Colors are frequency codes. Colors are codes for the energy you're meant to tap into. They are healings. They are really, really, really important. And so I've been guided to purple again and again and again and again in the past year. And it has to do with Saint Germain's healing flame, the protective flame. It has to do with Chalcedony, this gem that I was guided to, that I saw in a vision 6 months before I saw it in real life. Okay. If there are colors that you're obsessed with, follow them, buy them, wear them, get the ring, cook with them. That's a big thing. A lot of my shamanism flows through food and stuff. Yes, I've been eating more purple stuff. It's highly, highly important. Number 14. Woohoo! The further you go, the fewer people will get it. Is very true. Is very true. So it's not saying that it's lonely at the top. I believe if it's lonely at the top, you did it wrong. If you're ascending to a big dream, a big goal, and we all have a shared goal, making a better world, making a world we're proud of. If it's lonely at the top, you did it wrong. Okay? Will it be selective at the top? Will it be a small crowd? Yes. Because 99.9% of the population won't do what's required of living at this wattage, okay? And that's okay. It's not a judgment thing. It's like, okay, it's just the truth. Most people won't choose it, but you will. If you listened into this episode this far, you will. You already are in some ways that you're discounting, ways that you forgot about. Yeah. The further you go, the fewer people will get it. So, a lot of people really, I was having a conversation with someone and they wanted to give me advice. And I said, hold up. When you've gone where I've gone, when you have built a multiple six-figure business from scratch, when you have moved across the world by yourself to a place you've never been, when you've been through addiction, when you've healed sexual trauma, When you have done A, B, C, D, E, then you can give me advice. If I ask for it. Okay? One of the biggest lessons I received overall this year has to do with the correct people in your life and the boundaries and the standards that you hold. And the further you go on your path, the fewer people will get it, which makes the people that get it, that honor you, that can hold you high. And maybe they haven't done every single exact thing as you, but they're on that trajectory. They have the values and they live the values, right? Those are your people. Everybody else, good day, like I love you and goodbye. Loving someone doesn't mean they get to just be at the core part of your life and just put whatever they want into your soul and psyche and mind. That's a hard no. And people won't understand the more you ascend, and that's okay. The right people will. The right people will. Number 15, you cannot out willpower your environment. Choose it well. So just like, I always use this as an example, and this was heightened this year because I didn't know I was moving to the place of macadamia nuts. I don't have any self-control with macadamia nuts. A lot of people think I have a lot of self-control, and I do. At the same time, I set up the conditions in my life where it's really, really easy for me to just do what I know is good for me. I don't keep nuts at home. I don't keep chocolate at home. Especially nuts, because I don't like when I open it, I will eat the whole thing. And so I know that it's an unnecessary waste of my willpower to have it in the house, because why would I have it in the house and constantly being like, I see that, but I'm not going to have it? That's just a waste of energy. The same with your environment. Just like if you want to be healthy, you're not going to go, to some place where they're eating pizza all day, every day, you're going to invest in like a health club or something like that, right? Don't underestimate your environment. The willpower, like you can't out willpower it. The environment will win. You do become what you surround yourself with. So really get clear. Am I living in the right place? Am I surrounded by the correct things? Number 16, reject it, but don't fight it. Reject it, but don't fight it. What do I mean by this? There are going to be things that you need to reject on the path. There were things that I was called to reject viscerally the past year in ways that I haven't in my whole life. Ideas, mindsets, ways that other people do things that they think is good or right or correct. You must reject it. You know in your soul if it's correct or good. Reject it, but don't fight it. You can reject it and say, that's not true. I don't buy it. Unsubscribe. And at the very same time, not fight it. Because if you're fighting it, then you're thrashing your head against something that's not going to move. It's likely a collective programming that has a ton of energy behind it that you don't need to take on your own, right? You're just going to exhaust yourself. And what happens when you fight something? You are in a war with it. And when you're fighting something, you're confirming that you're at odds with it. So that automatically just keeps conflict in your life. So you can reject something, but don't fight it. You don't need to fight it. You can just smoothly transition onto your merry way. Let life be their teacher if they're gonna learn that, or if that's part of their path or whatever they choose. Reject it, but don't fight it. Okay, 17. I got to move on. I got to get quicker with these. 17. Anger is grief and care underneath. I had more anger come up in the past year than I have in my life. Anger is the most uncomfortable emotion for me. Why? Because my dad has a temper. I'm more comfortable crying in sadness than I am being angry. I had a lot of anger come up this year. And what I realized is that there was a deep care underneath, and it was also there with a deep grief because there was things going on that made me so mad. And I just kept coming back to like Jesus flipped tables. And it's not like, oh, I'm Jesus, but it's like, okay, I'm on a spiritual assignment. Like I'm a leader. Like I see things and they're not right. And it makes me mad. There was a lot of that. And I really came to terms with it was a deep grief and a care underneath. And it really deepened my mission a lot. It also required a lot of alchemy for me. There were times where I felt my heart start to harden almost. And it scared me, to be honest, because that's not me. And yeah, anger is grief and care underneath. And it's your job to transmute it and use it as fuel for your vision. 18, follow your joy with wild abandon. Follow your joy, follow your joy, follow your joy. Every time you follow your joy, you will be led to magic. Every time you follow your joy, you will be led to abundance. Every time you follow your joy, you will be happy, inner child, one of a kind, amazing, wonderful you. And that's the you that builds your dream. So follow your joy. 19, zero input time is more important now than ever. You know, I do Sacred Saturday every single weekend where I do a digital detox. There is so much noise. There is so much news. There's so much spreading of misinformation and propaganda, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder. And you, my love, and me, and all of us, zero input time is more important. You need to have time alone. No music, no podcasts, no nothing, no TV. Just be with spirit. Be with yourself. No input. Get bored. Remember being bored? Remember being bored? Yeah. 20, visions will show up that you forgot about long ago when you are consistent over the years. Okay, so I had a bunch of these happen. And it's like you place a little like you place an order with the universe like years and years and years ago, and you like take a screenshot in your mind, like, oh, I'm going to be living this one day. So back in 2018, I won a job with the US Navy. I was going to be stationed in Hawaii. That's what I chose. And you know, I had divine intervention and I followed my intuition and I did not accept that job. And I was like, I just want to go live in Hawaii when I'm like living my dreams. And I did. I went and lived in Hawaii when I was living my dreams. It just was a different iteration, right? Similar thing, Croatia, 2019. I was on a nude beach in Croatia looking out at the teal, most beautiful water I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I am never, ever, ever going to lose my connection with water again. And one day I'm going to be in a spot where this is normal, where this isn't vacation. And then what happened this year? I was sitting on a nude beach in Maui and I was wearing the same hat and I had the same blanket that I had gotten in Croatia. And I looked out and I realized the water looked exactly the same. And it was just a random sacred Saturday. And I was like, I'm at a nude beach on a random sacred Saturday in the middle of the ocean. And this is normal. It's amazing. I had so many moments like that. And a lot of things, we get so hyper focused on them. We're like, yes, I'm creating this, I'm manifesting this, blah, 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 blah. And then we there's other things that we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And then it just kind of gets like put in the swirl of life. And then it comes later. And you're like, wait, I forgot about this. Oh my God. Some of those things don't happen in a year, you know? So amazing. Lesson number 21. I hope you guys are enjoying this and getting something out of it. I'm having a lot of fun. So I know you will too, because that's what the vibe is. Okay, number 21. Don't mistake an initiation for a reason to quit. So initiations are when spirit sharpens you as you're walking through a doorway to your next level. Let me say that again. Initiations are doorways where you are sharpened as you are entering a new level, and spirit sharpens you. Some people call it being tested, right? It's like you're being initiated. There are lessons you've got to learn. There's things you got to move through. There's blocks you got to clear for you to move on to the next level. Don't mistake that for a reason to quit. Don't mistake that for a reason to turn around, right? I had so many initiations on Maui. Literally, my whole life was initiations, basically. It was like it was like deep painful contraction and then wild expansion. It was like contraction, wild expansion, contraction, wild expansion, contraction, wild expansion. And it's so funny because my good friend Raquel, she was like, yeah, the first 2 years are an initiation. The first years on the island are an initiation. And then I was like, yeah, I'm here for the initiation. And it started happening. And I was like, I'm not well. But just having that lens on like, this doesn't mean this is wrong. This is an initiation. So yeah, if you're at at a new level and you're being initiated, don't quit. It's an initiation. Spirit is testing you and sharpening you into who you're meant to be for the next level. Okay, 22. Health is the bedrock of everything. Without it, you have nothing. Okay. A healthy person has 100 dreams. A sick person has one dream. Health is everything. Invest in your physical health. Invest in your vitality, in your food, in your water, in your energy, in your movement, in your exercise, in everything for your health, in breath work. Like breath work is a big part of health. Having a reset, aligned nervous system is part of health. It's not a luxury. It's very important. It's tied with the root chakra. That's foundational. Okay, 23. When you break your own values, you break your own soul and self-respect. So this is a lesson I learned in the past year. And it's very, very nuanced. How do I want to share this? This has to do with the other lesson I shared where you will be rejected from places that are too small for you. So when I experienced that on Maui, at first I was like, oh, I don't think I know the market here. I don't think I know the culture. And so I was like pivoting. I was like, okay, I'll try this. I'll try that. Like, what about this? And I was like, I'm very open to being dynamic and, okay, what's the way that we get to make magic? And then I realized I was breaking my own boundaries and my own values, and it was chipping away at my soul. And it was very confronting and it was very sneaky because at first I was like, okay, well, I think the market's different here. I think a big part of this was I was like, ooh, I want to offer mindful music on Maui. That would be really fun. I love this. And it was just the whole culture is so different. And I was met with honestly a lot of nastiness by people because I hold a certain frequency of value. And I I even cut my rates in half. I cut my rates in half because I was like, you know what? I'm the new kid in town. I'm open to just like, how can I open this portal? I love this. People, there's all these kids here that I know would benefit from mindful music. And it got to a certain point when I just realized I was like, I can't do this. I don't believe in this. I'm breaking my own fucking values. I don't even respect this. I'm doing shit that I don't respect. It was deeply confronting. It was deeply confronting. And so that's when I just released and I said, okay, when you break your own values, you break your own soul. I was like breaking my own soul. I was like, wow. It was very confronting. These are the things. I haven't experienced that level of that lesson before. Um, it was very important for me. But that's really, really, really important. Don't you dare break your values. And if you notice it, change it immediately because everything else will click in right away. So, yeah. Lesson number 24. Time for solo integration is needed. Take time to metabolize. So there was a certain point in this year, if you've been here for a while, I have been going down the rabbit hole with human design. I'm always down the rabbit hole with astrology. I'm always with mentors and coaches, and I want to just learn and I soak up everything. And, my favorite podcasts are literally like 3 to 4 hours long about astrology or high performance. And I just got to a point where I was like, it was almost like if you just keep eating and eating and eating after you're full, it's not good. You need to take time to metabolize. And I just found myself, I was like, I just actually need to like be by myself and not listen to anything, not have any calls, not be in anything. I just need to take time to be with myself and realize what this means for me and remember who I am. This happened especially with human design. I was like, I need to stop studying right now and I need to just listen to my inner voice. So taking time for solo integration is huge. It's really, really, really important. I think it's really important to have times with coaches and without coaches, with mentors and without mentors. Will I always have mentors till the day I die? Absolutely. It's a core value of mine. It's really important. And there are seasons. Will I have one every single year? Yes. Will I have one every single month of every year? No. Right? Number 25. Astrology is so real. We knew this, but I've never seen it more blatantly and specifically expressed than I have this past year in my own life and in the collective. So astrology is an ancient, sacred science, and it's so accurate and it's so important to be in relationship with. It's literally the weather of spirit. And we got to study it if we want to make consistent, purposeful, deliberate magic with force, with source, with spirit, with stars. Okay, number 26 lesson. Every moment you're either cherishing yourself or avoiding yourself. I wrote this down and I was like, oh shit, that's really real. That is a deep lesson. Every single moment you're either cherishing yourself or avoiding yourself. That's something I learned. And I pretty naturally cherish myself now. It's not like something I need to think about. However, when I was moving through a lot of my anger, grief, activations, initiations, there were times where I wanted to avoid myself. Why? Because there was pain there. Why? Because there were feelings I didn't want to feel there. But what's the most cherishing thing you can do ever is give yourself a hug and feel what's there so you can move on, right? So every single moment, you are either cherishing yourself or avoiding yourself. Okay, lesson number 27, aloha and ohana. I learned so much from aloha. Aloha is love, it's compassion for others. And ohana means family, the human family. We are all cut from the same cloth. And I already was tapped into this idea of the human family, but aloha is something different. Aloha is the neighbor on the street who, shows up to your house with avocados because they have extra. Aloha is, yes, getting that sandwich and water for the person on the street. Aloha is knowing that we're all tapped into this magic, and when we take care of each other and we have compassion for one another and love their soul through the way we live, that's when the world can change. I learned so much about aloha and just people being there for each other. And, coming from Chicago, I love Chicago. It's also one of the biggest cities in the world, and it's very it's not as ambitious and ruthless as New York, but it is very ambitious, and it is a lot of patriarchal, like when someone does you a favor, it's like they expect a favor later kind of thing. That's not aloha. Aloha is abundance. Aloha is the matriarch. Aloha is I'm helping you because it's the right thing to do. And it's aloha, right? Lesson number 28, malama aina. Malama aina is devotion to the land. And we all have a devotion to the land that we must live out in this life if we're going to be building New Earth, because New Earth is Mother Earth as the matriarch, right? Malama aina. Malama aina. What is your devotion to the land? The land you live on. Ooh, a hummingbird is out my window. That has been my spirit guide lately, hummingbirds. And I've been seeing them everywhere in books. I flipped to a page in a book the other day, and they said, for example, the hummingbird at the top of the page. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be really paying attention to the hummingbirds. And the thing okay, this is a side note, but if you have a guide or a sign that's happening to you, with you, through you, pay attention to what you said right before they showed up. That's what it was about. That's a clue. So I was talking about malama aina. What's your devotion to the land you live on? This is really, 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 really important, and something I lived before this year, but I just deepened into it. Like now, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, it is pitch black, and I go to the bathroom, but then the next thing I do is I go out and I put my bare feet on the earth and I say mahalo aina, which is thank you, land. My life is a devotion with the land. And it's a really important part of being an earth angel. I'm an earth angel, you're an earth angel. That's what a new earth leader is. We're anchoring the 5D into the 3D. Well, guess what the 3D is made from? Earth. Malama Aina, what is your devotion to our home? Okay, 29. 29th lesson. We got 4 more. There's fuck yes or fuck no. There's no fuck maybe. You already know. You already know. Maybe is a no. Life is very, very simple. And either it's a fuck yes or it's a fuck no. And you are worthy. I am worthy of waiting for the fuck yes. So you already know. You already know. You already know. You already know. Stop asking anybody outside you. You already know. That's all I'll say about that one. Lesson number 30, the land is always calling you, speaking to you. You've got to listen and connect. The land is always calling you. Lands, so something that I'm learning a lot. I'm starting to understand why I was called to the mainland. But I've been walking on the land I was raised on, both, around the home where I grew up, the farm I grew up on, where Sally's house, my Nana's house, and our family cottage in northern Michigan. This land was calling me. The land of Maui called me. And you've got to listen and you've got to connect. I'm now getting called by other land. I'm getting called to Egypt. I'm getting called to Europe. I'm getting called to Greece. I'm getting called to, oh my gosh, Peru. I'm getting called. And so I'm starting to realize, like, the land is calling, and you got to trust that and you got to go with it. And maybe it's a trip, and maybe you move, and maybe you just go put your feet on the earth right now and you listen for what the message is. But the land is always calling you. It is always, always calling you. This is where my shamanism really shines through. Shamanism is very connected to the land. There's a lot of floaty mystics that are very ungrounded. And, I'm grounded for all kinds of reasons. I'm a Taurus rising, 3 planets in Virgo, 3 planets in Capricorn, North Node in Capricorn. I'm also a shaman, white earth star. I'm a bridge between earth and stars. And the earth part is the land. The land is always calling. Okay, lesson number 1, do whatever you need to restore your faith. Do whatever you need to restore your faith. If you're in a place where, there was a lot of times this year where my faith was incredibly, incredibly tested. More than ever in my life. There was times this past year where I literally was like, I wish I could go redo my breakup that I did. I wish I could go, get sober again. And it's like we say these things because it's so far removed, but I was just I was like, I have never experienced this before. And it's not stopping. It's not like it just was like thing after thing after thing. It had a lot to do with the initiations. And it was like psychological surgery. It was like psychological surgery. And there was times where I felt like I lost my faith. I'm not going to lie. And it was really hard. And I did whatever it took to come back to the truth, to come back to faith and connecting to source, connecting to the truest truth, which is love and possibility and source, right? connecting, whatever you need to do to connect back into that faith and change the channel, change the script, change the timeline, change the emotion, obviously breath work, change your breath, change your life. Whatever you need to restore your faith, do it. If you need to make a list of all the times you did amazing things against all odds, do it. Do whatever it takes to restore your faith. And then finally, lesson number 32 of 32 lessons from year 32. When things don't go as planned, Spirit has something way bigger in store for you. Spirit has something way bigger in store for you. So, spoiler alert, I did not plan on being on the mainland right now. I did not plan on giving up my lease on Maui and coming to Michigan. I did not plan on this. This was not part of my plan. I was guided here. I received very direct messages, very direct things, synchronicities, all of these things happening, specific opportunities, things happening in my family. And I was like, this is not part of the plan. And I know that there's something way bigger for me. I don't fully understand what it is yet. And there were so many moments in the past year where it was like, oh, it's going to be like this. It's going to be A, B, C, D, E. And then Spirit's like, nope, nope, nope. I got something way bigger. And then like a month or two later, I'd be like, oh, that's what it is. Amazing. So I just learned time and time again, if things don't go as planned, especially for something that maybe you really wanted it, maybe your heart was totally set on it. Like for full transparency, I was going to have a big old birthday party on Maui. I was going to have a big old birthday party in the ocean with my mermaid friends on Maui. And I'm not doing that. And at the very same time, I know that Spirit has something way bigger in store for me. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm here for it. I'm getting all these visions and being called with the land. It's like, am I supposed to just travel all of my 33rd year? Maybe. That makes me excited. That makes me joyful. That makes me, and there's that following the joy, right? But yeah, that lesson number 32, when things don't go as planned, Spirit has something way bigger, way better, way more custom made, aligned for you. Woohoo! What an episode. I would love to hear from you. Which of these 32 lessons hit for you the deepest? Write a review on the podcast and let me know. Let me know if this impacted you, if this touched you. And yeah, I'm just sending you into your day with magic and joy and possibility. If you want to work with me, you can join Angel Air membership, or you can work with me one-on-one in one-on-one mentorship. I am really excited to be welcoming all the amazing people into my world for deep dives. And if this podcast changed your life, this is not even touching the surface of what you will experience as my client. My clients create dream businesses. My clients triple, quadruple their income. My clients call in their soulmates. My clients heal family relationships they haven't healed. My clients start living a life in reverent ritual and relationship with stars and spirit. They trust themselves. They love themselves. If all of that you're interested in and you want to work with me, go to the link in the show notes. All of the links are there for you. I love you. Thank you so much for being a part of my life. And I always get really sappy around birthdays because it's just really emotional. It's like, I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you and that we just get to like make cool shit together that matters, that makes a positive difference in the world. And I love you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you feel the call, I would love to work with you. I would love to guide you, to mentor you, to hold space for you to heal yourself for a better world. Go out there, be the change, be the light, make a stranger smile. And I will see you next time when I'm 33 on a better world with Adrian.